Okay, folks, we're back. Brent McMahon 3, Brent McMahon, My 15 Minutes. This is part 2 of the fitness goals and anti-aging video that we're going to do today. So there's some new information out that talks about what really defines some of the definitive measures of aging. And this is news that I've just picked up, which is some of the either multipliers or way that they're going to monitor your aging or testing is going to be through 1, muscle mass, 2, grip strength, and 3, then cardio endurance. So let's talk about muscle mass. So as you age, you're going to be losing muscle mass, and it's a percentage every single year. How are you going to keep that up? Cardio is probably not going to be the best way for you to keep up your muscle mass. So that's where we're going to incorporate some resistance training. Grip strength, again, goes hand in hand. I guess these tests were actually done on not so much how much you can bench press or how much you can squat, etc. This was more like the tests were based on like hanging grip strength and things like that would test the actual grip strength. Cardio endurance, I think, is sort of self-explanatory. Obviously, if you can run distance and you're on a treadmill or you're on a bike and you can go there for an extensive period of time, you're probably going to be in that cardio endurance zone. Again, I just want to mention, not a doctor. We always recommend that you check with your medical professional in order to get the right routine for you as you go forward here. And one more thing, please click on the subscriber icon. We appreciate it. If you could do that, that'd be great. We're now recording on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, so we appreciate it. So the second thing we're going to talk about is the workout routine. Okay, so you've got basically a couple of different things that we recommend here. So for instance, you're going to break up your resistance training and your cardio training. Our recommendation is that you break that into 2 segments. So normally what I would do is I'm going to go out on day 1 and I'm going to do the weight resistance training. And again, this is really going to depend on your capability. If you're somebody who hasn't worked out in a long time, I don't recommend that you get out there and start hitting it immediately, pushing yourself to the edge. You're going to need to work your way up into these things. So you may start with calisthenics and then work your way into a process where hopefully you're able to get into weight resistance and then increasing your weights as you go with time. If you go in there and you hit it heavy and you haven't been in there a long time, then you could possibly tear something, and then you're back at square one and having to heal before you can actually get on with your training. So for me personally, what I do on day 1 is I go out, it's going to be chest and triceps. I'm going to do a number of exercises within those, usually keep that set range somewhere between 8 and 10, and the reps for me are going to be about the same. On day 2, I do cardio. For me, I've said this before, it's the stationary bike, preferred over the incumbent, just seems to get a little more active. The other one that I really like is the spin bike. That Peloton, that type of bike seems to have tremendous resistance, great way to burn calories. And I realize people, they like the elliptical, they like the stepper, whatever it is that you like, you get that cardio in on day 2. Our recommendation is 30 minutes. If you can do that, then depending on your age, and again, the important thing is that you recover. So on day 3, the recommendation would be to rest, and then we repeat the cycle. So on day 4, we're back, different exercise group, different body parts. So now we're going after the back and the biceps. And again, 8 to 10 sets, 8 to 10 reps within those different sets. And what we're going to be doing in part 3, we're actually going to go to the gym. We're going to show you the routine that we recommend that we do. Again, may not be for you. You need to work your way up to some of these routines, but we will be showing you the weight resistance part of the workout coming up in the next video. So on, again, day 4 we'd repeat, and then day 5 we're back to cardio, and then day 6 would be a rest, and then on the final day that would be legs and shoulders. And again, 8 to 10 on the sets, 8 to 10 on the reps, and then on the following day we'd be taking it back as a rest day, and then starting the whole cycle back over again. I think if you apply these, this is going to help you to accomplish your weight loss goals, and at the same time accomplish, we're all aging every day. It doesn't matter if you're a baby or whatever you are, you're going to age every single day. That's just the way it is. So I know a lot of us are out there, especially get past 40 years old, you want to try to turn back that clock. You want to try to do anything you can to stay. Hey, here's my opinion. Okay, I think it's better to be alive than it is to be dead. What do you think of that concept? Okay, that's my idea. And so with that being said, I've found over the vast time that I've been around that, paying attention to fitness, trying to stay on the nutrition is a big way that you can turn back that clock. And you're hearing a lot of this stuff that's out there now that a lot of these experts talk about. And for me, I've been trying to live this way for a long time. And I've done my share of partying and I made my share of mistakes. But I got to tell you, I think if you're looking for health, you can have all the money in the world, but at the end of the day, if you can't enjoy it, life gets pretty tough. So we're going to try to give you some tips, try to help you out in these videos so that, especially like I said, we're really trying to address this. If you're 20, God bless you. You can run, you can hike, you can do 4 workouts. And a great example of this, if you get a chance, you can go out right now on Netflix and look at my man Arnold Schwarzenegger, one of my heroes. He's on there, and this guy, unbelievable what he took the body to. I still don't know if anybody's been able to duplicate what Arnold did. He's just unbelievable. But, he's in his 70s now, and obviously not the same guy. I'm sure he's done everything he can on the anti-aging thing, but it is what it is. You got to fight the battle. So we're going to continue to try to help you. So we'll talk about the nutrition side real quick. We've talked about it before. My suggestion is try to keep the protein level high. Try to use the protein supplements, whether it's powder. It's tough to really, especially as you age, to get in. If you're going to, what are your main sources of protein? They're going to be chicken, fish, steak, etc. And a lot of people just don't like to consume that kind of meat. We all know that it can be difficult on the digestive system, etc. So some of the protein supplements that are out there, whether it be a protein powder or a protein drink that's pre-mixed, can be a great way to get to that, along with fish and eggs, etc. So again, if you based on your weight, to example, at 200 pounds, 150 pounds, you're looking, a lot of people shoot for 1 gram per pound. I think as you age, you probably want to cut that back a little bit. Some will say higher. For me personally, I like to be in that, if my weight range, if I'm at 180, 185 pounds, I like to shoot for 160, 170 grams of protein per day. That seems to be a reasonable amount of protein that I can get in, still maintain some muscle mass, and not kill myself on the digestive side. So sooner or later, you got to have a colonoscopy, and you want to be able to, come out of that on the right side. So far, I've been lucky enough to do that. So that's my suggestion. The other thing I think is a great idea to do is to really get your caloric count in terms of what your weight is and what your daily requirement is. In other words, everybody has one of these. So a great source, in my opinion, is the Mayo Clinic website. You can go on there, you put on your weight, your height, etc., and your activity level, and it will give you an indicator of exactly what your estimated caloric burn is per day. And it's real simple from that. So for example, mine's 2,300. So at 2,300 calories, if I'm going over that, let's say I go to In-N-Out twice, and I go off the wagon, so to speak, and I'm at 3,000 or 3,500, which would be a lot for me right now. At that point, I'm gaining weight, and I can literally get on the scale and track that. The next day, I'm going to be up. Conversely, if I'm going in the other direction and I'm going to cut those calories below 2,300, so it takes a little bit of monitoring. You can look these things up. What is a serving of this? What is a serving of that? And today, most of these products that we're going to get in the supermarket, they're going to show us what the caloric intake is. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass, but at the end of the day, this is really what it's going to take for you to monitor. And for those people that are out there trying to lose weight, this is the approach you're going to have to take, because there's just so much BS out there. And there's so many people who say, okay, I want to lose weight, and geez, I don't understand it. I eat like a twig, and yet I just can't lose this weight. Well, I don't want to bust anybody's bubble or burst anybody's bubble. Here's reality. It's just not that way. At the end of the day, you're going to have a calorie base. Everybody has one. And so if you see somebody, for example, weighs 300 pounds, it's going to take a considerable amount of calories to maintain that 300 pounds. And if they begin to go under that calorie amount, they're going to be in a deficit, and they go in the other way, they're going to be gaining. It's really that simple. From the perspective of math, what's not simple is doing it, okay? And we talked before, so I'll transition here to talking about the intermittent fasting, which I talked about in the last video. that's the reason why I love this intermittent fasting, because it's tough. If you're not a great dieter, and what I've found is most of us have periods of the day that we're going to be vulnerable to overeating. So for me, that's later in the day. I can go the first part of the day personally, no problem not eating for a considerable amount of time. So for me to cruise till some days noon, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, not a problem. If I rise at 7, I can make it till 1 or 2 o'clock if I want to do an intermittent fast without eating. Now, switch that to the nighttime, man, that's where I'm vulnerable. And so other people may be the other way. They're like, no, I got to have my breakfast, but I can go without eating after 6 or 7 o'clock at night. Either way you can do that. You got a 24-hour clock. All you got to do is monitor that on the intermittent fasting side. So look to try to extend that into the 12 to 14, 15, 16-hour period. And there's a lot of evidence out now that basically says, hey, listen, if you go back 1,000 years, 500 years, whatever it was, food was not as readily available. So the body was apparently designed to go through these crisis periods where you're going to be in this sort of starvation mode. And that's actually what kicks in a lot of things that will benefit you from a health perspective. And a lot of this information is coming out. So a way to beat the diet difficulty and challenge is through this intermittent fasting program. So again, keep an eye on the calories. You want to gain, you're going up. And there are people, you want to put on weight, you want to put on mass. Some of these guys that are looking, it's real simple. Those calories got to go up. You probably want to try to keep them high quality, but they go up, your weight's going to go up. They go down, your weight's going to go down. Okay, another big thing that I wanted to talk about was that I'm kind of getting convinced of as I age is insulin resistance. So this was something, I got to be honest, not educated on. And what I'm finding is that what my personal belief is from experience is that as you age, the insulin resistance in your body is getting weaker. And so that means you're gonna feel those hunger pangs and have hunger cravings on a more regular and frequent basis, which I found personally. The eating almost becomes a something that preys upon itself in a sense. So the more you eat, the more you eat, and I think that again, that insulin resistance is a big challenge as we age. So the more education you can get on that, the more understanding you can get on that, I think the better off you are. And obviously, a lot of people struggle with diabetes in this country. There are a lot of diabetes drugs out there that are coming to market that are helping people. But I got to tell you, that is a biggie. So again, from a nutrition standpoint, you're going to get your carbohydrates, you're going to get your protein, you're going to get your fats. You want to try to keep that diet as balanced as possible. And then again, if you follow the guidelines of you're going to get your workouts in, you're going to incorporate that routine where you're going one day, 2 days on, and then a day off. And then you're watching the nutrition and then incorporating the intermittent fasting, I think you're going to find that you're going to be able to change your body. And I think the other thing I recommend is everybody's different. Every person's a little different. So it's important that you kind of get in these routines and you're going to find out what works for you and what doesn't. And as I said, everybody's different. So hopefully you'll be able to tailor a program that's really going to help you. The other thing I would suggest, just getting back to the workout routines, I've dealt with a lot of injuries. It's a constant. So in this anti-aging battle, you're dealing with these injuries consistently. So what does that mean? Trying to find ways to work around the injuries, trying to find ways to do exercises that you can do that aren't going to affect that injury. And I can tell you, I can do a whole video on this alone, and I'm sure we'll get into that. Again, I appreciate all the support. You can visit us at Brent McMahon's My 15 Minutes on YouTube, Brent McMahon 3 at Instagram, and Brent McMahon 3 at TikTok. We appreciate all the support. Keep working out. Keep trying to keep that age clock at bay, and over and out.